शाहरुख खान से पहली बार आप कब मिली थी?
It's a very sweet story for me. My senior journalist, Omar Qureshi, he asked few of us, who wants to go for this screening? Savaria or Om Shanti Om? Who wants to go?
Om Shanti
And I
Om.
was like, Om Shanti Om, Om Shanti Om. And I was watching that movie, and I remember not watching the movie. I was only watching Shah Rukh.
We know that you played Kaveri Amma
Right.
In Jawan, but given a choice in any past Shah Rukh Khan film, if you could play his love interest,
Oh man, what are you doing?
how was it working with Deepika?
She was very, very generous, very friendly. I remember at one point she and Farah were talking about something very personal. They were having a personal chat, and we were all sitting behind the monitor, and I was sitting here, and this is Deepika and this is Farah, and they're talking, and I was like, guys, I am right here. I don't want to intrude, and they're like, and Deepika's like, it's okay. You also be in this conversation, and I was like, my favorite time I think on set was the climax, watching Vijay, Sethupathi and Shah Rukh together. Oh man, I was like, where's my popcorn? Let's just enjoy. Hi, this is Ridhi Dogra, and you're watching me on Bollywood Hungama.
Welcome to Bollywood Hungama, guys. My name is Urmin. यार we're all Shah Rukh Khan fans. Come on, ये सिर्फ फैन मोमेंट नहीं है. शाहरुख खान हम में से कई लोगों का पहला प्यार भी है, और ना सिर्फ हम आम जनता के लिए, एक्टर्स के लिए भी. आई एम श्योर कि आज हमारे साथ जो एक्टर आर्टिस्ट मौजूद है उनके लिए भी. But it takes a lot of guts to do what she has done. Please welcome the Jawan Kaveri Amma, Ridhi Dogra. How are you doing, Ridhi?
I'm very good. Thank you so much for appreciating my guts.
Seriously, it takes a lot, and I think it speaks a lot about you as an actor to take up an opportunity. And was it a challenge? Was it a challenge for you?
I mean, I've never been 60 in my life, so on that account it was a challenge, but it was a challenge. लेकिन I think when you are an actor, जब आप एक creative field में होते हो, तो आप challenges, that's your thing. You want to take up challenges. You live for it.
Right.
If I had to be safe, I would have been in a job that I was doing before I was an actor. I would have continued doing that. But I don't like monotony. I don't like to, keep going according to structure. So I would take up challenges any day.
Well, I must tell you that for the audience जिन्होंने ये फिल्म पहली बार देखी थी, for the first half were all questioning this कि ये रिद्धि का कैरेक्टर इतना मतलब वेस्ट हो गया है, ऐसा नहीं लग रहा है कि मतलब ये क्यों इनको ही क्यों चूज किया. And the fact that it ends with तालियों की गड़गड़ाहट for you with a lot of memes, let me add to that, just shows that you made the right choice. But Riddhi, my question to you is, was this the part that you'd auditioned for?
Actually, no. I had tested for one of the girls. और मैंने एक साल पहले किया था टेस्ट, and I think close to a year before I got the call that please come in, Atlee wants to meet you. So yeah, I knew that they had started shooting because it was all out in news, and when I got this call that Atlee wants to meet you for something, I stopped at Atlee wants to meet you. So I was like, I have to do this. I have to go up, like I have to meet him, and I have to. It is just so encouraging as an artist. I already I was in the middle of shooting a lot of stuff, but when you get that call, the next day that you have to go back on set and face the camera, you just feel encouraged, and you feel like someone's watching you and someone's trying to say that, oh, you've got something. I see that in you. So I was. Very, very happy when I heard that Atlee wants to meet you. So I was like, okay, what is it? And then, of course, everything rolled out after that.
But were you convinced to do this role? कि बहुत मेहनत लगी, क्या process था, हमें सब बताइए.
Yeah, how can I have to be honest? How can you be convinced to play mother to Shah Rukh? It's not. It can't come easy. Of course, then he explained. Atlee explained everything to me, and I was not really the real mother. So I understood what the character was. I understood where he saw the character and what vision he had for the character. And honestly, everything's kept aside. When the director has so much to say for your character, you should do it. Like I was like, if he's so invested in even meeting me, I remember they were shooting and I think they were shooting the whole metro sequence because मैं location पे पहुंची थी और वो पूरा set लगा हुआ था. Of course, didn't know what's happening, but I could tell that there's something like a metro over here. And you know, he especially came to meet me, and for me it was like, you know, if he's taking out the time with his AD and they're both sitting there so patiently answering all my questions, all my doubts and whatever I'm asking, for me that was, you know, huge. And of course I knew it's scary and it's mad, it's a crazy thing to do, but I think that's just me as an actor. I don't mind. I have to take up I have to push the envelope for myself till someone else, you know, says that we know Ridhi can do it. So till then, I'm going to keep doing this.
What was your family and friends' reaction to this?
They were all, I don't think I told people for a very long time because I feel like it gets jinxed. So नहीं बताती मैं ज़्यादा. Actually अपने काम के बारे में ज़्यादा बताती नहीं हूँ. I just say I'm going to work and you know this is what I'm doing. So even for Jawan, I don't remember telling many people, and I had thought, I don't know why in my idealistic mind, you know, I had thought when the movie will come out, then I will tell everybody. उसके पहले तो मैं कभी किसी को नहीं बताऊंगी. But of course, I told my parents because I remember the first look test was me getting old. You know, they were doing my prosthetics, and I sent that to my parents. I'm your buddy. I'm giving you company now. So, and they were like, oh, our child looking so old, but you still look cute. You know,
So
their parents
sweet.
are parents.
Kitna encouragement.
Yeah. But they all knew, like my family, my friends, people who've known me since I was a kid, they all know how much I not only love Shah Rukh as an act, as a fan, I look up to him. Like I follow what he has been saying in his interviews since I was a kid. So for all of them, it was like, how will you do this? How are you going to do this? And I was like, I'm an actor. Now I'm not just a fan. So I have to, and that was, I think, the bigger, you know, push for me that, come on, this is challenging, you know, forget playing old. I'm playing old in front of Shah Rukh, you know, जिनके लिए आँखों में सिर्फ dreaminess ही होती है. And I have to be all like, I'm your mother, you better do this. So it's a challenge. It was a huge challenge and I was up for it.
So, ये बताएं कि that what was your prep like to get into a character which is 60-year-old?
I think my prep is always for everything. Honestly, इस set पे I didn't get to know much. I didn't know much about what's happening. I also came in a lot later, so maybe everybody had workshops and you know everything. I didn't have that. I didn't have a sort of time spent with everybody. I came in the middle of when they were shooting. So my prep was honestly just taking as much as I could out of Atlee, you know, and the writer and the dialogue writer. And because it was, you know, understandably this film was so, you know, tight-lipped, nobody knew much about it. Even on set, you know, mera pura duration of shoot, I have to tell you, I pieced the story together. While I was on set. So I would sit with one character and I'd be like, oh, acha, you're doing this part. Oh, okay, now that makes sense. Oh, you're doing this part. Oh, okay, this is the beginning of the film. You know, like it was very interesting. You knew your part and you knew what you're doing and how you're adding to the scenes and what you're doing. But I didn't know the totality of it, and they didn't want us to know.
But
and
rightfully
so.
ये normally होता है, or is there a proper script from top to end given to you as an actor कि ये film है, ये पूरी कहानी है?
No, I think every project is different. My part was so little, honestly, you know. I'm coming to play a part. So, if I was playing one of the primary characters, of course I would have, I'm sure I would have known. Or I'm sure the girls knew a lot more than me because, you know, they did the heists and everything. But I was okay with not knowing, and I'm also like that. Like, even with my other projects, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. After I read the script, I like to not constantly know of what's happening in the story because I only want to know what's happening from the point of view of my character.
Okay.
Otherwise, the surprise of things goes away. You know this character is coming in, she's had this scene, he's had this, and I know why he's, it just sort of doesn't come out in your eyes. So I anyway like to just know the story and then like Married Woman was different. I knew everything because I was there in every frame.
Right.
But there are some stories where you don't need to know everything, I feel.
You've had an incredible journey because you've tried out a lot of things. You were a part of Shamak Dawa's dance troupe. आप एक चैनल पे होस्ट भी रह चुकी हैं. तो क्या एक्टर बनना हमेशा प्लान था? Was that on the table?
No, never. I was just very. I was actually not looking at acting. I was happy doing my job, and then I think I got the opportunity to act, and I felt like, chalo, let's try it. You know, I was young, and let's do this. Let's see where this goes. And once I started acting, I loved it. And because I was a dancer, तो मुझे audience का डर नहीं था, मुझे lights का डर नहीं था, stage पे होने का. In fact, I used to love it. I used to love being behind the lights and on stage, and I used to only hear the applause of the audience and not see their faces.
Would you dance with a lot of actors as well?
No, I left before I. So there's a process, right? Like you're a regular student, and then you get selected, and you go into this thing called special potential batch. Back then, when I was doing dancing with Shamak, then we did shows with Shamak. I'd done shows with Shamak, and then I remember my entire batch of, so to speak, the people with me, they're still dancing actually. They're principal dancers with Shamak, and they all went to Commonwealth. Achha. And that's when I had left. And I remember watching all of them and being like, shit, I could have been there, but I had started working by then. So I was very comfortable, I remember when I faced the camera for the first time, there was no nervousness. It was just the technical things that I was like a little, camera placement and marks and where to look and all of those things, but that's okay. Other than that, I was very confident.
Okay.
So I took to it like very, very easily.
तो शाहरुख खान से पहली बार आप कब मिली थी? Was it on the sets of Jawan or उससे पहले मिल चुके हैं आप?
I have met Shahrukh. We all have Shahrukh stories, right? As just people, we all have met him and seen him. I've seen him in a shoot. I remember I'd gone for a holiday. तो राजस्थान में shoot कर रहे थे. वहाँ तो देखा ही था, but that was shoot. Then I met him. Actually I spoke about this at a screening for Om Shanti Om. It's a very sweet story for me because I feel like so there was a screening for Om Shanti Om, and it was a private screening, and there was all these actors and everybody was over there, and I was there from my office. Because I got this, my then not colleague but like senior journalist Omar Qureshi. He asked few of us who wants to go for this screening, Savarya or Om Shanti Om, who wants to go?
Om Shanti Om.
And I was like Om Shanti Om, Om Shanti Om. And so it was a screening with all the biggest stars in that room, and I was there and I was like, why am I here? And I was watching that movie, and I remember not watching the movie. I was only watching Shah Rukh. I was only watching him. How does he watch his film, and what is he what is he doing when we're all laughing at that? I remember that. And then I have met him one more time at a family event. He had come. Where I met him, but properly I met him on set.
And how was it? How was the meeting? I believe that even he was regretting you playing a 60-year-old.
I think he's very kind and very generous and very sweet. I think he probably reads that you are feeling a certain way, so he sort of reiterates that. But it was amazing to meet him. The first time I saw him, of course, the first moment, जो हमारा एक scene था जो movie में भी है, where he talks to me and like the camera is here and both of us are standing like this, and I remember when I first, like we were rehearsing and I had to say my line and no sound came out. I was like, oh. And Shah Rukh gave me a prop. He's like, you hand this prop to me. So, I know as an actor what that means. That basically just eases you out, because then your focus is on the prop and not on the other things that you're thinking of. So, and immediately I could do, I just said my line, and when the take got over, he's like, "Ab kaise ho gayi thi confident?" I said, "Aapne help kar di." So, so that's how he is. He's very easy, and I think he knows that, when people come in front of him, they become all like, So he eases you out because everyone says these
Correct,
stories
correct.
about him. Everyone. So yeah, then the whole day we were sitting like this. The scene was such that हम दोनों बैठे हुए थे साथ में, and I had noticed after half an hour, 40 minutes, कि he's not moving. He's not moving. He's not asking for his phone. Nothing he's doing. So I kept doing what he was doing. You know, I was just like, I'm also going to sit like this. I'm not going to be on my phone. And you know, so yeah, you know, there was too many, you know, too many conversations I was having with myself. Ridhi, you have to talk to him. You will not get this opportunity again. And then I was like, but how do I just talk to him? I'm a very shy person. And you know, I don't like, you know, I can't be fangirling him because I have to be a professional and I have to behave like I can do this. So, but yeah, I did my best of cracking some stupid, you know, jokes, and he was kind enough to laugh at them. And yeah, it was sweet. I remember I was just dreamy-eyed the whole day, and I felt like I was it was all cloudy. I felt like kuch aur hai hi nahi. It's just him and me. And every time Ashley would come and talk, I'd be like, pay attention, you're at work.
I can almost imagine Riddhi, you telling your dialogue and then there's a cut and you going, also I love you.
Yeah, I could. But you know, what really stopped me from doing any of that were the prosthetics on my face. I was like, छोड़ यार, what's the point?
बेटा बदला लिया जाएगा. बेटा टेंशन मत लो. बेटा पहले खाना खा लो. Also I love you.
What's the point? Yeah, I was just like, do not say anything. This is not helping.
So now you're in the process. You have been convinced. You have decided that
Yes.
करना है, ये as a challenge लेना है.
Yeah.
In this journey, at any point, Riddhi, were there regrets? Were there challenges that you felt that नहीं मेरा ये decision सही नहीं था?
No, I didn't have regrets or anything like that, but I was extremely anxious. I'll be honest. I was very, very anxious, and you know, for the right reasons, because I didn't know much of the story, right? If I knew what's happening in Natalie's head, I don't think I would have been so anxious.
Sure.
But so I would always go up to him, and you know, I would just sit in front of him and be like, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that, and I would just like talk to him. And he is just the sweetest, you know. Atleast apart from being a genius, and every day, you know, you would even feel like you can't approach him with this, you know. You're an actor, they've hired you, and you've got to do your part. You know, you can't be going and venting and being like, I don't know what am I doing, what is happening, because you know, they know what they're doing, and you can't keep going and troubling them in that big process, because the film set had, it at all times had thousands and thousands of people. It was never a small set, you know. So I knew the magnitude of what's happening. I knew what's at stake, and you know, so I did keep it a lot to myself. And I have to say it. I've not said it, but during that time, I think there were few people. One was because I went to them for advice. One was Rajiv Masand, and one was Ekta Kapoor. I went to both of them for advice on, you know, whether I should do it, and you know, they both sort of told me it's you must do it. You must take it up. So I was hoping with that. I was going with that hope that this will pay off.
Chalo, let's just live a moment.
Okay.
That we know that you played Kaveri Amma,
Right.
in Jawan. But given a choice in any past Shah Rukh Khan film, if you could play his love interest,
Oh man, what are you doing? I would say it should be a film in the future.
of course,
because I love everybody he was paired with.
it has to, like, they have to make up for it.
But
nahi, in the
make up for it is a very big word. But yeah, I mean, him acknowledging it on a stage, on a public stage, for me only was a very big thing. And I remember thinking to myself after that I have to work hard in this direction, you know, whatever he meant to say, but I have to, you know, personally, individually work hard in whatever direction this, because I have to remember what he said to me, you know, and what he said about me. But what film, every film, I would say, you know, Veer Zara, or I mean, I wouldn't go back to when I was a kid, but like growing up, I would say, you know, the film that I think not a lot of people liked a lot, but I loved, and I've seen it so many times, was Jab Harry Met Sejal. I loved that film. And I'm also, you know, Imtiaz fan. So that world, I really understand that world, that the layers of, you know, multiple emotions and feelings, and feeling one thing and saying one thing and going through one thing. So I loved it. I loved his character in the film. So unlike whatever he had done.
Definitely.
So there are so many. Kal Ho Na Ho. There's just so many films.
Great. अब ये बताया that at what point did you realize that this Kaveri Amma is also going to become a meme?
I've realized it. It's happening. It's on as we speak. But honestly, it was in one of these chats that I had with Atlee on set. He told me, he said, "Be ready to be a meme."
But मतलब नाम भी एकदम perfect. उसके बाद अम्मा also like मम्मी या फिर माँ नहीं. It was the perfect Kaveri Amma that we've seen in Swades also.
You know, I didn't realize this.
क्या
Maybe
बात
I
कर
didn't
रहे हो?
realize. I didn't. So I remember when I shot with Shah Rukh, he told me, "I'm not going to call you Amma. I'm going to call you Kaveri." I was like, whatever you say. Like I was like this, whatever. So I mean, I didn't even pay attention to this, that, you know, it's the same thing. I didn't. I was just, I think, too anxious in my, you have to do a good job. You have to do a good job. I was also consciously, like, I remember, nobody will notice this, but I constantly, you know, because I was in saris in the old getup, I was like, I'm always going to keep my sari like this. Otherwise, my youth is going to come out. They are like, no, you know, my arm is so thin and I look, you know, fit or whatever. So I was always like, I'm going to keep my sari like this.
How was it working with Deepika?
Oh, she's a beautiful human being, and I think the part that she played in the film called for so much empathy that she had that on display. I could see it in her, you know, and I don't like disturbing actors because I also don't like being disturbed when I'm on set, so I didn't really disturb her or anybody, but she was very, very generous, very friendly. You know, I remember at one point she and Farah were talking about something very personal. They were having a personal chat, and you know, we were all sitting behind the monitor, and I was sitting here, and this is Deepika and this is Farah, and they're talking, and I was like, guys, I am right here. You know, I don't want to intrude. And they're like, and Deepika's like, it's okay. You also be in this conversation. And I was like, you know, so very, very inclusive, very sweet. And I mentioned it before, everybody on the set was very inclusive in spite of the fact that it's such a big set and they were doing massive work.
Yeah.
You know, they could easily have been in their worlds and, you know, of course, a lot of important things to do. But everybody was very, very kind, very, very sweet. And that speaks volumes, you know. I honestly have not seen that on every set. So that speaks a lot. And, you know, it just, like, आप जब उस सेट पे जाते थे, like when I used to be on that set, दिल से आता था this film is a blockbuster. I used to so many times tell Atlee, you know, sitting with him, and I'd be like, what you're doing, you're making a blockbuster, you know. It just come from within because of the energy that you know, the set had and all of them had. There was just so much, what do you say, everyone was so relaxed in the world. Nobody was stressed out about what they were doing, you know. And that really, really speaks for the final product.
When you see the film, Ridhi, do you have a favorite scene, a shot that you remember that you'd like to tell us?
Of me or generally?
Generally.
Okay, I have to tell you my favorite scenes of me. Of course, I loved my part with Deepika. Because it was also more my age, I guess. I loved the portions, you know, where I got to, and I also, like, you know, like I said, that, you know, where I stand, whatever I get, those are my opportunities and I have to make the most of it. So, you know, for me, I knew that, okay, I'm getting one close-up in this big, massive film. I have to reach the audience. I have to reach their hearts. I have to do something that they remember me. So, मेरे लिए उतना ही काफ़ी होता है, you know, it's like, a job, you know, like I'm happy, I'm satiated that I gave it my 200%. What happens to it is not my concern. I'm like that with any other project also I do, even if I'm there in every frame or something like this. That's the challenge, you know, that's the beauty of being an actor, to be able to convey something in that short span of time. But my favorite time, I think, on set was the climax, watching Vijay, Sethupathi and Shah Rukh together. Oh man, I was like, where's my popcorn? Let's just enjoy this. You know, they were, you know, for a fan and for an actor, it was a masterclass.
Correct.
You know, I was just watching them and I was loving how they were working together. So much respect, whatever you're seeing in the media and how they're together, they were exactly like this on set. They
Did
were
you get
just
to tell Vijay Sethupathi about it?
not on set. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I was, like someone asked me, were you shy or intimidated? And I was like, I was not shy. I was shy with everybody, but with him, I was intimidated because his body of work is just like, you want to like salute him for how he does what he does and the characters he picks up. So yeah, I remember just watching him from far. He was there next to me. I remember on one day, and I thought 5,000 times that I should go up to him, tell him something, but I didn't. I didn't disturb him. But yeah, just watching both of them in that climax was paisa vasool. Like I was like, I'm so happy I did this film. I'm so happy to be here. It was just an absolute honor and what a privilege to be on that set and watch them not just do the scenes but their banter and how they were working with each other was just incredible. What a learning for me as an actor. For me to be with any other co-star tomorrow, it's a huge learning for me to take away.
Since we're talking about all these superstars, we have to also talk about another female superstar that she's been tagged with, which is Nayanthara.
Yes, yes.
What did you enjoy the most about her as her role, as an actor? What did you like?
She's very, very, I would say very focused. I think because she was also in the middle of, I think for any woman out there, what she was like for me, because, on set, it's different. We're working together. So you know that there was a work-life balance that she was maintaining. And that was beautiful to see, the focus you need to be able to give your best in both these aspects. And she was always very kind, very sweet to talk to. So I remember I spoke to about her Netflix, the promo had come out and I was like, I'm so looking forward to it and I'm so glad that you did it and we are all going to see a lot more of you because we need to.
Yeah.
And she was very sweet. She was very, very sweet and very easy to talk to. And yeah.
Ridhi, now you started your career at a very young age, 2007, 2008?
2008, 2009, yeah.
2008, 2009. And now we're in 2023.
Yeah.
How has Jawan changed for you?
I don't know. It's still stuff is still happening. I honestly don't know how it's changed. Only people can come up to me and tell me how it's changed. Maybe there's a lot more audience that has seen me, and Baki, I think sometime next year I'll be able to tell you how it's changed. Maybe some projects will come by and some scripts, but. I do hope things change, and I hope I've constantly worked to push myself as an actor, and I want the audience has always loved me, always, and I'm just so grateful for them. Be it in television, they've always recognized what I'm trying to do. They've always recognized that I'm trying to do something different, and she pushes things. I want the industry to think like that, so I hope. That happens with Jawan, but till that does not happen, I wouldn't be able to tell you because, I wish that they take me seriously and they say that she can do it. She can do whatever you give her.
If you get a chance to play a mother to another actor,
Nobody.
question was, would you say yes?
No. No, I wanted to do a film with Shah Rukh. I didn't want to let go.
Chalo, let me tweak the question.
Okay.
What if there's another Shah Rukh film?
No, Buzz. I'm not here to play mother. And listen, no. This was an opportunity that came from nowhere. I literally, I was telling, in my last interview that it was very interesting when I got the call for this. I remember, they said, come and meet us now. It was very late in the night and I saw my phone and it was my grandfather's birthday. And he's passed away and I consider him to be my guardian angel. So I genuinely felt like, grandfather, is this you? Is this you telling me to, go, push yourself, do something? So literally my reason to doing this was Shah Rukh, Atlee and my grandfather. And I'm glad, so I'm really happy. I must take this opportunity to thank Ekta Kapoor and Rajiv Masand, because they really, really, told me, don't be stupid, go and do it.
Wow, we're really glad that you did.
Yeah.
Because like I said in the start of my interview, this speaks a lot about you as an actor, to take up this opportunity
Thank you so
and
much.
this challenge.
Thank you for recognizing that.
Finally, you want to tell us a little bit about Tiger 3?
I can't. You'll get me killed. I can't.
Okay, let me guess a few things. सलमान खान होने वाला है उसमें?
I don't know. What do you think?
Okay, so nothing. You're not telling us anything.
I can't.
Camera on नहीं है.
Of course, on है camera. And no, before Jawan, I couldn't talk about Jawan, and I can't talk about. मैं हूँ भी उस फिल्म में. I don't know. Hi, this is Ridhi Dogra, and you're watching me on Bollywood Hungama.